Hey, good morning, Belmont. Thanks for being here today. So, how have we been loving on our neighbors during this time? Well, interestingly enough, Christy and I actually had just bought a house and moved into that house in February, and then COVID hit, right? And we all were quarantined. But we really wanted to still be the church and kind of get to know our neighbors. So we didn't use that as an excuse to just stay inside. We actually used that as a way to continue to try to reach out. And so one of the things that we did was Christy made cookies. And I think the very first week that we moved in, we actually delivered cookies to two of our neighbors. And one of those, the husband actually came up and introduced himself to me, and we had a great conversation. He shared a little bit of the history about the neighborhood, so that kind of helped us out. And then actually Christy, the other neighbor, had tried to call us, but because her number was long distance, it didn't go through because she had a landline. So can you talk about how the daughter called?
Sure. So one of our neighbors is up in age, and she has her daughter coming every weekend. And the daughter ended up calling my number with her cell phone and just was saying, "I just want to thank you for reaching out to my mom." And mom was just really excited to get the different baked goods that you had left and the cards that you had made. So that was really cool.
And then
And then my stepdaughter, Ed's daughter Abby, she's been coming over every other weekend and staying just longer periods of time since we have just more of a comfortable place for her. So that's been really cool. And near Easter time, we ended up making little care packages for our neighbors. We put a roll of toilet paper and a card and a little thing of candy.
handmade cards.
Handmade cards. Since I have time, just been getting into watercoloring. We won't go into that, but so we delivered that, and we had some. We had one neighbor said that it really meant a lot to them that they knew that we cared because we gave them toilet paper. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I also noticed that one of the other neighbors was cutting wood, so I went down and offered to help him. He was just about done, so I didn't help him too much, but we did have a really good conversation, got to know each other, so that was really neat. And then again, not only does she bake cookies and paint her own handmade cards, but she also made bread. Christy made bread, and we delivered that to the neighbors, which really was cool to see because the only other neighbor that we hadn't made contact with actually got in his car and drove up and visited us. And again, I had a really good conversation about how long he's lived here and about the land, and he's lived here for about 50 years, so it was a really great conversation. So we've really used this as a time to connect with our neighbors, and then we've also tried to connect with the church. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we, since I still have a lot of time on my hands to bake, I just baked some more things, and we delivered them to a couple church members, and Doris was one of those members, and we found out just through conversation that she hadn't been able to watch the services online just because she didn't know how to get on, and so I was able to come back a week later and just show her how to get on YouTube. So watch it. Doris is on YouTube now, but she's able to actually watch the services now, so that was a really cool connection.
Yeah, and that's what we've been doing. So thank you for your time. Hope you guys have a blessed Sunday.